Yo, man, there's something about Harare streets, bro. Cause you know how Harare means one who doesn't sleep, and Harare is like that. It doesn't sleep. It's always active. It's always on the move, and it really is an encouraging space. I mean, sometimes it can be too much. You know, when the pace is like too much. Yeah. But what I really am in here for is like mostly the inspiration and like just, you know, it kind of cranks the gears to keep moving and keep going. And yeah, that's pretty much why I come into the CBD most of the time. My name is Kuda Chakwaz, or Kuda Chakwanda, but like Kuda Chakwaz is like my artist name, if I would say. What I do is I do fine art photography and contemporary art painting, right? And then I design bags and furniture. Sometimes, yeah, sometimes I design clothes, but like I don't really get deep into that. Yeah, I think that's what I'm doing now. Obviously, like in the future, there's some other things that I'd actually be doing. My photography is, I've got street photography, right? And then I've also subdivided those because I've got like some series that I'm working on that are, yeah, I think you'll get to see them. Like eventually, I'm still structuring how they would look and all. And then I've got creative photography. That is just me exploring how, you know, like visual elements and, you know, trying to piece them together into like something that is, you know, is pretty dope. And then there's like fine art photography where I'm taking fine art principles of, you know, conveying a message about, you know, certain topics, be it social, be it personal, mostly like, yeah, mostly social and personal. Yeah, I don't really touch into politics. I'm really illiterate on politics. What else? Yeah, that's pretty much my photography. I mean, sometimes I do corporate stuff because, you know, you need the money, but yeah, that's pretty much my photography. It's tough, eh? Like, it's actually quite tough because, I mean, the art in Zim, if I may say, it's being caught on at a space where it's evolving, alright? So we can look at older artists and their older principles and their own market from like back in the day, right? And then now we have like a new, you know, a new wave of Zimbabweans actually appreciating art, but we have moved. We actually have like the art community. We have actually moved in such a way that the guys that are actually like consuming our art now, they're still trying to catch on, but sometimes it's kind of too advanced for them. So it's one of those, I don't know if it calls for us to slow down or for them to catch up, but like, yeah, that's how it's tough. There's also the fact that there's an air of, you know, ignorance and arrogance of like, you know, peeps, you know, artists being treated not like, you know, people, yeah, I mean, artists usually are treated like, you know, just another social hindrance or whatever, but one of those, you know, people are not given that respect that they actually, you know, do deserve. Because I feel like, especially in Zim, we have not only talent, but we have an actual voice, an actual something to say. But sometimes people just don't have time to listen to that. It's also, I feel like, because we don't have much of a culture that appreciates art like that. Because, like, I mean, art is, some would say, a luxury. I would actually argue to say that art is a way of dealing with, you know, contemporary issues, and that's, you know, that zeitgeist, you know. So yeah, I mean, if people aren't really as ignorant towards like, you know, art, and like they try to really understand what people are trying to say, and, you know, would actually be at a better place and would have more people actually respecting artists. And yeah, because they now understand, all right, cool, this person is saying this, and this is it gives them a paradigm shift, you know. People think differently when they see some certain art, you know. So yeah, I think when people actually take time to listen to the art and look at the art, or, you know, consume the art, and then yeah, they would actually have an appreciation that's pretty much better. I would actually say there's some sort of lethargy, right? Like, because you have your old guys, right, that have a way of dealing with their art. Then you have like the new school, but you can have it in such a way that we can work together and actually have a bigger product that is like, you know, Zimbabwean-esque. We as Zimbabweans actually can come up with our own aesthetic, you know, because we have like the BAT with their way of teaching, and Harare Poly, right? You have older guys teaching there, and they know how things can be, like, or should be, or would be, or how they were back then. Then we have like new cats, like people who went to Ziva, for example, or people who are going to Chinoy University. They have their own way of thinking, but it's such a way, we're taught in such a way that if these two are married, right, these can actually like bring out some really good Zimbabwean art, because aesthetic-wise, I feel like we are actually going somewhere. But context-wise, we have it lost in the old books by the older artists, So if we actually can, like, put together all these, we can actually have something solid. What I like, right, is how people are actually getting in tune with, like, culture. Not only culture, but like, spirituality that is, like, relevant to Zimbabwe, right? Not only Zim, but like Africa, if I would say. So people actually are like accepting, like, their spiritual roots and their rights and all that, and that's actually good, because I mean, in as much as we can have these aesthetics growing, but what are we actually saying, So yeah, I mean that's pretty a good step towards. I mean, they can allow us to actually have not only creative freedom, but like allow us to actually express our creativity, but at the same time we maintain our our Zimbabwean morals and like our Zimbabwean idea of how everything should be presented. So it's just a matter of us meeting middle ground, where artists are like, all right, cool, we have these let's say urban revitalization like projects, and then you have other, like, you have the older peeps on some, all right, cool, we can allow you to do this, but don't be talking about this or whatever. And as much as it can cause problems, but I mean we can find a middle ground, obviously. So yeah.